Nobody will be opening up a GCC here of their company just because it's a good business opportunity. No, it is only going to happen due to relationship. And I think we're going to take that to the next level.
During the period of virtual GCC, if I want to exit, because every country, entry becomes easier, but the exit becomes too difficult. There's so many taxation. I said that that's why we are helping you to be part of Dexian. The VGCC is a model where the entry is easier for you and the exit is also easier if you really wanted to exit out of the country, or if you wanted to exit out of Dexian and establish yourself, we'll also help you into that one. So that's a model which we are trying to adopt.
Hi everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Dexian Talks, the GCC Leader Series. Today we're very delighted to welcome Mr. Sim Merekar, the country head of Canada operations at Dexian. With over 20 years of leadership experience, Mr. Sim has built and scaled high-performing operations and transformations across industries with a sharp focus on client value, innovation, and measurable outcomes. He is known for combining people, process, and technology to drive sustainable growth. Hosting him will be our very own Kumar Rajgopalan, the country head at Dexian India.
Hey Sam, how are you? Good to see you here in India.
Thank you so much. I love the country, like the opportunity to get a chance to speak with you. Kumar Saab, has been a while.
Thank you. No, it's always happy to see you here. So last time when you came, I know it was unfortunate, like you got sick, had to rush, but I think probably this time you are enjoying much more than last year.
Well, I was foolish last time. This time I made sure I took some shots and came. So I think the shots are keeping me, on the healthier track.
Okay. But it's so interesting. So you're basically from India. You moved to Canada, and you adopted Canada that much. And now, after how long it took for you to come back to India?
Well, I migrated in '86, but the trip was not directly to Canada. I took a stop of 11 years in Bahrain.
Okay.
And then from Bahrain, I went to Canada. So I've been there since '97, so now close to about 28 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah, so 28 years is the time that takes, and you really become the citizen and probably the person of that country.
Okay.
And body has a strange way of behaving. It sort of adapts to the country that you live in. So the country that you were born in, when you come over here, you become a foreigner to that country. So what can I say? But I'm happy I'm here. I'm happy I'm still healthy. And I look forward to having a good time and completing some of the tasks that I'm here to complete. And hopefully they're all successful.
Fantastic. And what made you to come here? Which team you're working with?
Mostly with finance, but we also have a project that we are going to implement in Pune. So that is also one of the reasons we are here. So it's a business trip, a very short one, albeit, but it is what it is. But I'm enjoying it.
And how are you enjoying working with these folks here?
Oh my God! I think one of the biggest change that I see, or a difference that I see, is the amount of love and collaboration. That is fantastic. People go above and beyond, not just to make you happy, but to actually get a job done, which is a trait I wish there was everywhere else. But definitely when I come to Chennai, Pune, I definitely see a very different flavor of all our employees and our team members.
Yeah, great to work with. Offline also, I can tell you, people love you so much. So it's not on the face of it I'm saying, but like behind, I can tell you, so many people love you here.
I'm so happy to hear that. I wish my family knows that. They think differently, but
so you were born in India. So if I may, which place you were born?
Absolutely. I'm a thoroughbred Mumbaikar. Okay. Born and brought up in Mumbai. Did my engineering in Mumbai, and at about 24 years of age, I got an opportunity to go abroad right from college.
Okay.
Right from university, rather. And then I took a risk and I went, and here we are.
Okay. And how do you see Mumbai now after a long period, after you left?
I don't know what to say. I'm sort of mixed in that. People say it has changed. Yeah, I think I see more new buildings and flyways, but at the core of it, I think it's all the same. Nothing really has changed, in my opinion. But of course, I see some fancy cars and a lot of rich people on the road and driving expensive cars and so forth. But other than that, and of course, highways and all the infrastructure. But overall, I don't think anything has changed. It is the same Mumbai that I left, I think. Of course, it becomes difficult for me to acclimatize when I come here, but that's because of my disconnect with the with India for a long time. And the reason for that is very simple. I mean, I don't have any family in India anymore, so there is no reason for me to visit. The only time I come here is when there are business opportunities like what I'm here today.
But you have a huge Dexian family right now.
Oh yeah, and it is because of Dexian family that I have actually got the opportunity of visiting India so quickly in so quick succession. I mean, I came to India the last Jan 2025, and here I am again in 2026.
Yeah.
This has never happened in my whole tenure of 40 years away from India.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, it is all due to Dexian that I've become now sort of a frequent flyer. So much so that the immigration guy said to me that I should probably apply for a trusted traveler program for India.
People talk about like the old Mumbai, new Mumbai, old Chennai, new Chennai, because they divide the city into two and say that like this is Navi Mumbai and things. I just wanted to check with you, is like, because you left Mumbai long back, and when it was Bombay, you left long back, and now when you are back here, so what are the things which you are missing?
Well, I had a couple of friends, which are my childhood friends, so they are no more now. So I definitely miss them. Yeah, thank you. And I don't think I've missed anything per se. To be honest with you, I had the opportunity of being brought up in a humble home. So my experiences were in the humble category, so to speak. So no, I don't think I don't miss anything. Let's put it that way. On the context though, I mean, how many times have we visited? So if you look at that, it really doesn't make any sense.
So Canada, and you established Dexian Canada from the scratch, and it's been a long journey. People talk about it like kind of when they talk about GCC, Global Competency Center, especially in the context of setting up in India, it's the same thing. Any country when you set it up, especially for Dexian, it's a nearshore GCC. So if you are looking at Canada as a GCC for the parent Dexian, first of all, like, how did you make a choice to join Dexian Canada? Because I think probably handful of people, not even a handful of people at that time. How did you trust Dexian to come into that one? And now it's one of the major revenue in the international scene. So how did it transform? And the reason why I'm asking, going from India, which is like a lot of GCCs is happening, you are a Mumbaiker, but setting up in Canada, staying in Canada, and trusting a company which is like kind of no presence in Canada, and building in a way, actually from India we are jealous. How do we make it happen? So, any insights?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I appreciate all the kind words that you have mentioned. I'll be very honest and frank. I was doing a great job. I mean, I was working for a great company. The one thing that made me make the decision was that, I was working for a large organization, which is a back office of one of the 5 largest banks. And like I said, I could have been, continued my journey and retired from there. But the one thing that I got an opportunity with Dexian, as a vision, I saw that no matter what happens to me, I mean, it's a new line, new product, and essentially totally uncharted territory for me. I may survive a month, 2, 6, 1 year, I don't know. But if I'm able to make it a success, and from myself, the success was not like a 5-year plan. My success was, can we set up the company, get it all legalized, set all the licenses, etc., and then can we get it to a revenue level that is sort of respectable?
That's right.
And then, if the journey continues, great. If not great. I mean, there is no hard feelings, so to speak. But the one thing that will always be remembered is that this fellow who came in is a founding member of a company.
Okay.
So Dexian's company in Canada, this guy was a founding member of it. And I think that gives a feather in the cap.
That's right.
That I wouldn't have got anywhere else.
That's right.
And I think that was the biggest motivation for me to take that very risky step at a stage in my life which was not advisable. Yeah. Now when I look back, I feel that decision was cowboyish, because I was probably not mature in that sense. I wouldn't have taken that risk at this point in time.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the story behind the journey. And the one thing I must say that the reason we are what we are today is because of the tremendous empowerment and authority the leadership entrusted in me. As you know, for the longest amount of time, for almost 3 years in the journey, Dexian Canada was a one-man show.
That's true.
Right? It good and bad. I would say it's all good. But then the thought behind it is that we did not want to ever be in the red. We always wanted to, as a company,
Yes.
we always wanted to be in the black.
Yes.
So yes, could have invested into getting team in place for sure, but that would have made us go in the red. So that strategically was not something sitting well with me. So I went over and above and beyond to get to a level where we had enough in the EBITDA to justify growing the team and then grow. But I must always be cognizant of the fact that if there was no empowerment and autonomy and authority that was given by the leadership team, thanks to Maruf, thanks to Mahfouz, and thanks to my boss, Ash. He is another very gentleman. And all these three people have been very critical in my journey in Dexian, giving me the support that I really needed. And I think today I'm running solo for sure, but under the guidance. So I really thank for the empowerment. I think that is the biggest piece that they have given me the freedom to take decisions in the objective of growing the business.
Okay. And how strategically critical the Dexian Canada overall structure of a Dexian, especially for Dexian parent company?
I think it is a neighbor of US, and if you think culturally, anything that is in US is in Canada, and therefore, if we have a mother enterprise organization sitting in the US, having an offshoot in Canada is a natural progression. So yeah, that's being in Canada was like, I was kind of wondering why did the organization wait for that long, and then I understood that it really wasn't true. The organization did exist, except it was run remotely. Of course, in 2019, the leadership took a decision to have a brick and mortar operation, and that's how I was born in the company. But to your question, it makes absolute sense. And now that we are full established, we actually are a solid partner to our US organization. If they have any challenges where they want to, get talent support help from Canada, we are there. And if they vice versa is also applicable. As a matter of fact, if you slice the revenue pie chart of our organization, I'm going to say that about 10 to 12% of our revenue is coming from what we call as Canada placement US client. Technically, we call it as Canada pay US bill. That's a technical term for it in the business, but that's the amount of support we have. So today, a lot of our MDs in the US and a lot of AEs in the US, they have opportunities in Canada which they fulfill from the Dexian Canada organization, and we're very proud to be a support system for them.
Canada assisted revenue.
Yes, supported by Canada. Yes, absolutely.
But the critical factor here is, like, I know after a long time they established the Canada outfit, and it became one of the prominent GCCs within Dexian family. And as you said, there are so many companies have established what's there in US established in Canada. So which means the market for Canada is also been expanding so much over a period of time. If I may ask, like, what's the size of the market in terms of, if you're looking at the revenue numbers or in terms of the future outlook, so how Canada stands in the overall of Dexian group?
I think we
Not
do.
that Dexian revenue alone, just to kind of clarify that point. Canada has a market I'm talking about.
Canada as a market is pretty strong. More and more companies are evolving, and the evolving companies, they start from startups and then they grow into enterprises. But that's a journey, it takes time. And as they are going through the startups, they go into small and medium-sized business organizations. Till the time they become medium, they really don't have the appetite nor the investment strength to actually have a talent management team within their umbrella, which is a lot of cost, and they therefore resort to companies like us. I'm actually very proud to say that we were no one in 2020 Q1, but now we have become the force to reckon with in Canada.
Yes.
We are proud to be tier one suppliers, with rank one suppliers, with a few organizations. So to your question, is Canada growing? Absolutely. We may have a little bit of tailwinds right now or headwinds right now due to the political situation, but Canada as a whole is very independent, very resilient economy, and we are diversifying big time. And as the diversification continues, as the infrastructure projects continue to be ramped up, need for our companies like us to provide support to our clients will always be there. So I have no doubt in my mind that we will be close to 50-55 million dollars by the time it is 2028. There is no two ways about it.
Okay, that's a significant number. It's looking from a mere 6 years standpoint. A person who would single-handedly join and then kind of grew that number is a significant number.
Of course, but now it's a whole team. So we are blessed with a team of 12 people onshore, but Kumar Saab, we have a massive team over here as well, right? And thanks to you and your team, thanks to Sumit and his team, I think collaboratively we work very well. And I think this is the engine behind that gives us the power to go out and get new business and grow our business on a trajectory that is respectable in the industry.
Okay, so one slightly adjacent question to that one. You established Canada and you built the GCC of Dexian Canada, and then you are now looking at building the team in India for you to support, because obviously there are additional advantages which are being there to kind of scale up the operations, and you are traveling to India to meet your team, build your large teams here in terms of recruiting power, in terms of back office and things like that. Plus there are other projects which are being worked out, and you also mentioned there the love and affection which you got it from this team here has made you to travel multiple times. So if any of the business in Canadian business, they wanted to establish a presence in India, what would be your advice? It's like, because you have done experienced from the long distance to kind of set up the team. So what's your advice on it?
Look, it's not as if Canadian companies are foreign to the GCC concept.
Okay.
They know it, they want to do it. But think about it, the C-suites and the executive team is sitting in Canada. The attractive factor obviously is the growth that they will witness with not that kind of cost, if I may say that. Okay. So that's a big attraction.
Okay.
But then the deterrent is the foreign items that kick into place, right? But if I'm able to go and present myself to them, not me per se, but the company, and say that you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
And it's not just words.
Okay.
We mean it, and we will show you what do we mean when we say you don't need to worry about it.
Okay.
We are very proud to say that we have built it as a science.
Okay.
We got very learned people in your team, Kumar Saab, I think Ankilesh, and other team members who are PhD holders in this line.
Yeah.
And you have helped so many of your sister organizations, so to speak, get established. So we have a track record that we have a proven track record of success. And the fact that now today we are a 2,000 plus employee company in India means something. Yeah. Which means we must be doing something right. So I think once we are able to get into the the face of the C-suites, and not just talk the talk but walk the talk, demonstrate our abilities, demonstrate how we are capable of solving the government and legal political problems and get ourselves established. Once we are able to nurture in them and endorse in them a confidence of that you are in good hands.
Okay.
I think we should be good. They will be trusting us. The one of the thing is that nobody will be opening up a GCC here of their company just because it's a good business opportunity. No, it is only going to happen due to relationship. And I think we're going to take that to the next level. So we are fortunate in Canada. We have got great relationship with at least three companies at C-suite levels.
Yes.
And I think at some point in time we will be tapping on your shoulders, Kumar Saab, also Jeff Gray's shoulders, and we'll be going as a consolidated joint front, because that's only one kick at the can we'll get, right? So we want to go as a consolidated front and put our best foot forward and endorse in them the confidence so that they can at least, if not proceed with the project, at least be interested in understanding how the BCA, the rationale, and the logic works.
Okay, fantastic. So, in fact, I just wanted to touch base on this GCC side of it in India. We got some of the experts working through that one. Some of the companies globally, they exhibited some hesitations, especially the 500 million to $2 billion companies, the mid-market segment. What they were thinking about it is like, okay, now I can enter the market. So we told them that like you can enter with a assisted or the VGCC, which is virtual GCC. Start small. Don't look at it big.
Exactly.
Start small so that like what you wanted to do, get the benefit out of it. Once you are small, then you can make a lot of thought process to make sure that the team is working so well and the process are defined when it is small.
Yeah.
After that, like you slowly increase your presence and build it bigger, and you become your own GCC. So we help you from a virtual GCC to the newer GCC which you wanted to build. The one of the questions which was asked during the period of virtual GCC, if I want to exit, because every country entry becomes easier, but the exit becomes too difficult. There's so many taxation. I said that's why we are helping you to be part of Dexian. The VGCC is a model where the entry is easier for you and the exit is also easier. If you really wanted to exit out of the country, or if you wanted to exit out of Dexian and establish yourself, we'll also help you into that one. So that's a model which we are trying to adopt.
Yeah, and I think that is something that I actually picked up when you were doing the original presentation. One of the most comforting factor in that discussion is that there is a concept called do a pilot.
That's right.
Right. So don't go full-fledged in. Do a pilot. If the pilot is successful, you still have an opportunity of making a decision whether you want to go or to the next step or not, or you can basically just continue with the pilot.
Yeah.
One of the things that is very popular in the North American world is a concept called try before you buy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that if there is an opportunity, which you said there is, where you try it, you don't like it, you can exit. Just exactly try before you buy. And I think that'll go a long way. So those are the type of things when we project to our clients. It will give them an opportunity of thinking through, and the deterrent which is there will actually be pushed away far and far at the back. And at some point in time, they'll be able to take the first step. But we have to also be realistic that this is not something that is going to happen overnight. It's a journey like everything else. And, I know I may be jumping the gun over here, but I think my strategy for 2026 is to essentially get in front of at least 3 C-suite groups in 3 enterprise organizations.
Okay.
And do the due diligence and provide the executives with all the data points, as I call it, supported with your presence and your technical team's presence and the Jeff's and presence over there. And as a combined force, when we give them the comfort level and the data points to prove our comfort levels, then I'm sure that by Q4 of 2026, they'll be able to make a decision of perhaps trying the try before you buy concept or going into a pilot.
Okay, fantastic. So, well, if you go with the concept of creating a pilot and you wanted to establish, say, a relationship with 3 or 4 C-suite teams in Canada, one of the questions which obviously come is what kind of an industry or what kind of a companies that generally you think from Canada coming into India. So that's one side of it.
Yeah.
The other side of it is like I also wanted to check how open the Canadian market, just like the lot of US companies have come in, everybody knows about it. How open is the Canadian market to kind of tap for a GCC presence?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first part of the question, let me answer. I'm aware that, first of all, Canada, as you may know, does not have 25,000 banks. It only has 5 large banks supported by maybe 20, 25 other banks. So these 5, one of the 5 large banks I know is already in India. And then we also have a large insurance company that actually looks after all the retirement investments and so on. And by the way, we are trying our best to also get a foot in the door, something that we are working on, and hopefully we'll be able to achieve our objective by Q3 of this year. Side question, but something that keep in mind. You never know, we may have an opportunity there as well on another type of a GCC. Who knows? But those are all far off shots for me and for the company. I think what we will probably do is, we know, and back to the question, to your question, which are the people or which are the industries who are looking GCC as a opportunity? In plain simple words, banking and insurance. So banking, that is financial, and then insurance. Fortunately for us, we have a large global bank in Canada, and we are their clients. And they are actually today contributing 30% of our revenue. That's a big number. We want to get into the face of their C-suite. And I think we will focus our strategies all so that we can get into both these places and continue or start a journey of a pilot GCC or try before you buy concept with them. We also have a MSA with one of the 5 largest banks in Canada, and we're about to get the second one as well. Now, touch wood, all the paperwork goes okay, and we should be in business perhaps by early Q2. Those are large banks. Both of these banks are the top tier 1, tier 2 banks in Canada, but they also have huge presence in the US. And they will definitely be looking for growth opportunities in the US, supported from a low cost investment. And I think that's an ideal formula where we can pitch our services.
Fantastic. So it's an interesting point which you touched. Actually, Dexian, with its presence globally, is and also because it has established its GCC, the nearshore, offshore on its own, and also serving the customer, it's actually better suited for some of the mid-tier companies, I'd say 500 million to $2 billion companies, to partner with Dexian to come into the GCC model. Be it anywhere. I won't say GCC is only offshore.
Yeah.
It can be GCC anywhere. It's like kind of they can tap into our Brazil or Mexico or Europe or even India, or for example in Malaysia, Cyberjaya, anywhere. It's like kind of we have a lot of presence, and also the same process runs everywhere. So it's an interesting thing which we touched, that like US complements Canada, Canada complements US, India complements Canada, Canada complements India. It's like kind of the ecosystem is so built to suit the customers.
Absolutely.
And thanks to all of you, the international leaders, made it happen.
Yeah, and I think it's international leaders will be lost if we didn't have the support of our US partners and of our India partners. There is no two ways about it. So it's a good homogeneous ecosystem that we have developed, and we are nurturing it culturally and economically, and that is actually boosting us up. I mean, today we are able to compete and be working in the margins that we're getting over there is primarily because of the support that we get from India. There's no way otherwise we would be able to do that. So thanks to your team and to the whole ecosystem over here that is helping us continue onto the growth track.
Yep, great. How do you want to see Dexian Canada the next 5 years?
Well, like I said, not 5 years, we probably were thinking 3 years now. So we do have a 3-year growth strategy, 26, 27, 28, and we definitely want to, grow from our existing revenue achievement to by another 40%. So we want to add 40% to our current target, or current number that we are projecting to achieve by end of 2026.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lofty target, but then who would have thought in 2020 when we launched or when we built a brick and mortar operation that we would be here? So now, before we didn't have anything, but now we have an established platform, established company, established partners, established clients, and established support structure like yourselves. So we are actually very, very well positioned to achieve that target.
Fantastic. No, it's like absolutely, because initial start is always a lot of teething problems.
Yeah.
But once you start, like the machinery gets
Yeah,
much
I mean,
more
look,
smoother.
we don't have to worry about setting up a payroll system or setting up licenses across provinces. We got so many provinces in Canada.
So how many provinces right now we are there?
I'm embarrassed to say that, but I know that we only work in 11 provinces. There may be more. The provinces like Yukon and Northwest Territory and all that, we have decided not to work on it because of business opportunities and rationale and so forth. But we are definitely working in all the major provinces, right from British Columbia to Atlantic provinces.
Okay.
And we are proud to say that we got actually licenses all across.
Fantastic. Okay.
And if ever we uncover a province that we do not have a license for, so long as there is a business rationale and a logic to invest,
Okay.
we will.
Okay. Because a question which I wanted to kind of explore some of the Canadian geography and its market, because some of them, when they see from India, they also look at like what's there in the Canadian market. So some might establish a organization in Canada. So this might probably give them a lead that like what they wanted to look at it as a Canada.
So you mean companies in India want to establish into Canada? Wow, that will be a great opportunity that we can become the GCC, so to speak, for the India company. Absolutely, yeah, we can certainly do that.
That's why I've said like if we have built the ecosystem internationally.
So it's not
everywhere,
one way; it's both
it's
ways.
not one way; it's both ways.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
the leaders independently can provide a lot more insight into this the territory.
And just like you are here to handhold a Canadian company get established, in exactly the same way, we will be there.
That's right.
To handhold an Indian company to establish there.
That's right.
Right. So it works both ways.
Fantastic. So with that, like, thank you, Sim, and it's an interesting discussion because it's always people look at it GCC one way, and what you gave a perspective is GCC is not one way. GCC is multi-way, and people can grow their business in the new era of globalization.
Yeah.
And the competency is built everywhere, not just in one location.
Absolutely, sir. And look, we are here. We are there just like you are here to take on Canadian business. We are there to take on any Indian business, or for that matter, any other business. I mean, APAC can probably come. APAC is Asia Pacific. They might come back and say we need to establish something in Canada. Happy to do that. And I think that's the whole beauty about being a global network and a global enterprise.
Pleasure meeting you, sir.
So thank you so much for the opportunity, and I love my chat with you today.
And happy stay in India, and have a safe trip back.
Thank you so much.
In this episode, Mr. Sim shared some of the grounded and sharp insights on the evolution of GCC in Canada, highlighting how trust and outcome-driven execution are redefining global capability centers all over. What Sim shared reinforces how Dexian India continues to be a strategic value engine powering global delivery with talent and execution excellence. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will see you in another episode of Dexian Talks, an initiative by Dexian India.
We are Dexian, in the business for good.